It's a great day, my amazing CEOs. Imagine not being able to accept a credit card. Not being able to accept, I'll say, a sale just because you didn't have a credit card. And this was the problem that the one and only Jim McKelvey had, the co founder of Square, when he had a $2,000 hand blown glassware that he was trying to sell, but he didn't have a way of accepting a $2,000 sale using a credit card. And not only was this a personal inconvenience to him, this was a huge inconvenience to the entire industry and sellers who couldn't really take credit cards. So let's talk about the journey from a failed glassware sale to a $54 billion financial powerhouse. And let me tell you, it was no smooth ride. When Jim, the co-founder of Square, got started, a lot of folks didn't want him in the industry. Has your business been like that as a CEO? You're getting into an industry that's crowded. You get into an industry that has regulations. You get into an industry where you're just unwanted no matter what the solution is. So here's what they decided to do. They said, we know there's a problem. We're not the only ones. Let's go out and create something. And initially, if you remember, they created this little square box, right? Like a little microchip, if you would. And you could take that microchip, and this is when they recognized that more folks were moving towards taking plastic for their credit cards, So they created a little thing, a little square plastic thing, and you could tap it, and tapping it will allow them to take the payment. Now, here's where the twist came. They recognized that they had to evolve. The market was evolving, the trends were evolving, and hence they decided to move that square little plastic thing over to an app that was on iPad, and that just changed everything. And then they adopted a strategy called collaboration crushes competition. It's one of my 12 rules for life. I've got 12, but one of them is collaboration crushes competition. So what they did is they went out and Square decided to partner with Apple and Starbucks, two juggernauts, okay? And they shared the vision, they shared the problem, and they shared how they can make it easier to accept money. And as a result, they expanded then to small businesses who were struggling just like you. As a CEO, you recognize the problem. There are other folks that have the exact same problem, and you can offer a solution to make life a lot easier. In the world of sales, I believe this teaches us the importance of evolving with the market. So just as Square had to adapt with how they accepted payments, how they were doing transaction, and hear me as a CEO, had to embrace technologies to customer preferences, you can do the same. So what's my point? What's the big takeaway that I have for you? Just like Square's growth was directly fueled by their sales strategy, collaboration, and partnerships, and shifted in the market, you too, when you have the right sales leadership that can make the decision, you have the sales strategy that solves a problem, you'll find out that your sales will go up. You do that, and you will see an increase in your sales. With that being said, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown. Welcome to the CEO Sales Huddle. It's an honor and a privilege to be your host. We're going to start off as we do every morning, kick it off with our mantra. And our mantra is, if you can't focus on sales, you can't be in business. Go ahead and repeat that after me. We do it every morning. If you can't focus on sales, you can't be in business. Selling is really serious business, obviously, but sales is also the oxygen for any great business in history. Without sales, there's always more money going out as a CEO than there is coming in. So I would say that selling is really, really serious business. Now let's focus on what we do every morning. We like to do our mantra. So we have our mantra, then we have our pledge. And our pledge as a CEO is that we will learn, earn, and return. Now I believe that every morning, every CEO, when they get up, one of the things they need to say is, I will learn, I will earn, and I will return. That's what I want you to do when you look at the business. Repeat after me. It's our pledge. I have to learn something new. You just saw what Square did. Okay, we just went through another case study this morning. In order to earn new revenue from current clients, got it, Shay, check in the box. In order to get new clients and old clients to return, I must learn, I must earn, and I must what? Return. What are our objectives? Why do we show up every single morning for the CEO Sales Huddle? Here's why. It's all about sales growth. And the CEO Sales Huddle is about three things. Sales progress. So we're going to look back at the CEO dashboard. Got it, Shay. Number two, addressing any roadblocks. Square didn't become a $54 billion empire because there was no roadblocks. There was no change in strategy, okay? They got there because they were persistent in solving a problem. And number 3, we understand the 5 sales pillars that every CEO must know and understand. Number 1, sales planning. So you have a revenue target, and then inside that target, you say, what is my goal? What is my one-page sales plan to get to that target? Number 2 is the sales cycle. How do we accelerate customer's journey from the time we connect with them to the time they decide to make a purchase? So what's that journey look like? Number 3, sales pillar number 3 is sales positioning. The words that we use, we understand that the messaging is important. The sales words that we use is important because our words will make us rich. And number 4 is sales indicators. Now, sales indicators is what we do when we do the CEO sales dashboard every single morning. And then number 5, I love to remind you, I'm just planting the seed. I want to be top of mind to you. And number 5 is a sales team. Even if you are the number 1 person on your sales team, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, the sales team is the one that drives the revenue. Or even if you hire people, that's pretty cool. They come in to do it for you. We know without sales, there's always more money going out than there is going in. Now, for everyone who's tuning in, welcome, by the way. I love what the square case that we just did. I think it's very appropriate for many of you who are watching right now, the CEOs. But as you're tuned in, do me a favor. Let's just connect for a moment. We're at the, I don't know what time, 6-minute and 25-second mark. I love to check in, and I love to connect with you. So do me a favor. If you're watching live, and you can do this, look right below the video and put hashtag I'm here. Hashtag I'm here. Hashtag I'm here is just a bat signal that you're here, you showed up, and you're tuned in. You're dialed in into the number 1 conversation you need in the business. Number 2, if you're watching the replay, just put hashtag replay. Now, I read every comment. I read every note. I look at every like, and it's just a way for me to connect with you. You can see me, but I can't see you. If you're on the streaming platforms like Roku or Apple TV or podcast and you can't do it, no big deal. No big deal. Just go over to @IamCheBrown, @IamCheBrown, and drop me a note. Say I'm here, or let me know something that we can do to make this more valuable to you. Why do we get together for all our new folks? What's the number 1 reason we get together? Why do we show up every single day? Well, CEO Sales Huddle is a place where CEOs gather to understand how to sell more faster. And we have a big why. This is all about sales growth. This is all about sales growth. As a CEO, your number 1 responsibility is to grow the business. And the only way to grow the business is to bring in new clients. You can grow the revenue by going back to existing clients and selling them more products. But we have to bring in new business in order to grow the company. That's sales growth. There's accountability, and then there's consistency. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here. This is why we get together every single morning. I'm so excited. But let me just share our number 1 outcome. When the question is asked, Shay, what's our number 1 outcome? We only get together for 15 minutes a day. That's all I asked for was 15 minutes. And here it is. Put this in your notes if you're taking notes, but here it is right here. Well, I thought it was there. There it goes right there. Our number 1 outcome. $100,000 a month of consistent, predictable, reliable revenue. As you look at your 1-page CEO sales plan and you say, okay, I got this goal of $100,000. What is my sales system? What is my sales structure? What is the sales funnels that I'm using that's a clear roadmap to exceed my goal of $100,000 a month? You should have the CEO 1-page sales plan, just one plan. And that's how we're going to get there. If you don't have that, I'm going to encourage you right now. There's no cost. There's no credit card. There's no Square. No pun intended needed. Go over to www.ceosalesplan.com. Just www.ceosalesplan.com. Follow the instructions. The 1-page download. I don't know anywhere else that this exists on the planet. We created it because CEOs needed something they could have that was simple and that was easy, and that's one of our gifts back to the world. We take something that's very complicated, and that is sales, and we make it easy to understand and easy to execute. So go over and get the CEO sales plan right now, and then as we do that, we're going to move to, I believe, one of the top things that I love to do every morning. We're at the 9-minute mark. This is great, and we're going to get into the CEO sales dashboard. Now, the CEO sales dashboard is the number 1 tool that CEOs use in order to get to $100,000 a month. If you don't have the CEO dashboard, some of you are going to open it up right now. I know you're going and open up your Excel sheet. We're going to go through it in a minute. Go over to CEOsaleshuddle.com. And once you get to CEOsaleshuddle.com, follow the instructions and download the CEO sales dashboard. We look at 5 indicators. So as a CEO, there's only 5 indicators that you need to drive and understand in order to manage the business. There's leads, appointments, offers, deals, and repeat business. And every morning we go deep in one area. Now, here's what it looks like. Simple Excel sheet. So there's no software needed. There's no app needed. You yourself, you can do this. Okay? You got this. No, seriously, you can do this. You got this. Across the top is 1 through 31. Down the side are the 5 categories. And then I put in some subcategories. You can customize it. Now, here's why this is important. Because as you open this up, if you're doing it while we're here now, that's cool. If your assistant did it last night, that's cool. If your business operations manager has already done it, amazing. But if you're sitting here and you don't even have it and it's not done and you have an assistant, that's the number one job. If you have someone that's dealing with your business operations, that's their number one job. And if you have no one but yourself, that's cool. You're still a CEO. You're a leader of one before you're a leader of many. It's your responsibility to have it open. And I promise you, what gets measured gets managed. What gets managed gets better. So let's look at the category today, what we're going to look at today, which is deals. And, you know, when I used to look at deals, you're going to put how many deals came in yesterday. You look back the last 30 days to see the trend. So go back at this, look at the trend. Look at how many leads came in. Look how many leads were qualified. I mean, look at the trend right there. This is all you have to do as a CEO. This is a one-pager, just like your one-page CE sales plan. They match up perfectly and make it easy. Now, under deals, I'm going to spend a minute here, and I'm going to talk about it because one of the things that I love to share is there's different categories. And I'm going to go take about 2 minutes or maybe a minute and a half with the 11-minute and 42-second mark and go deep in deals. Now, when we look at deals, we look at not just the money that came in. So I used to look at deals and measure it for many, many years, and maybe you were like this as well. I only put a deal when the deal was closed and the credit card was in the house and the money was billed. That means it's going into my bank account. But then I also noticed and say, wow, Shay, you're beating yourself up every day. What about the pending deals? Like, what about the folks who said they were going to do it? What about the individuals who said they need to read the contract? What about the individuals who said they need to talk to their business partner? What about the ones that are just pending there? And when I did that, I said, well, there's really 3 categories under pending deals. There's a pending deal that's hot. That means this thing could close in the next 5 to 10 days. 5 days, hopefully, is very, very hot. Okay. Then there's pending deals that want to do it. They're going to get to you. And you expect it to close in the next 10 to 20 days. Now, hopefully, it's going to happen within 10 days, obviously 10 to 15 days. And that might be someone who has to move the money around. You have your own way of doing it. For me, it might be someone that waiting to sign the agreement. But it's done. It's just some small things. Maybe they got to take a look at something first. And then there's cold. Now, cold, if it's anything over 20 days, which in most cases, you getting back together in 30 days. They want to do it, whatever the reason is. Doesn't mean they're not going to do it. We're going to follow up. We do understand that the fortune is in the follow-up, so we get that. But we also understand that it's not happening. But we're going to reward ourselves for our effort. We got the lead in. We set the appointment. We made the offer. They understand it. If they buy, they buy. If they don't, they don't. And our job isn't to convince anybody. Our job isn't to persuade anyone. I don't even teach those skills. Our job is to say, look, you've got a problem. This is how I solve it. If you're interested, great. If not, no big deal. But we're not going to try to convince and persuade anyone to do anything they don't want to do. To me, that's just the old way of selling. And we don't teach those principles here. Okay, we're at the 13-minute and 42-second mark. You're here now. For those folks that are tuned in, if you haven't already, do me a favor. Go over, look right below the video. Let me know you're here. Just put hashtag I'm here. Hashtag I'm here. If you can watch and you can see and you're on one of the social media platforms that allow you to do that. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. I'm glad you're in the building. So put hashtag replay. And then look right below the video. And now we're going to celebrate wins. We're at the 14-minute and 13-second mark. So tell me I got to move on. Okay. So I always like to take a look at what's working well. Oftentimes we beat ourselves up. We're not going to do that. We're going to take a look and say, what's working for us now? What are some things we can do? I believe that powerful people ask powerful questions because questions steer focus. And in this life, you get what you focus on. So here are 3 questions I want you to focus on. Number 1, what are you most proud of? From a sales operations just yesterday, or maybe for the month, what are you most proud of? And then take a look. What was your biggest accomplishment from a sales operations yesterday? From a sales department yesterday? Or look at the last 30 days if you want. And then what would you brag about? If I could bring you on right now and you could brag and say, Shay, I'm all in. I can't wait to tell my story. I can't wait to share what's going on well with me. And then the next one, we understand there's hurdles. Now, I always said powerful people ask powerful questions. So questions steer focus. We don't believe the world is perfect. It's not full of rainbows and unicorns and cupcakes that's falling around. No, no, no. So here's the 3 questions. Number 1, what was your biggest roadblock yesterday from a sales operation perspective? What's preventing you today from moving forward from a sales operations perspective? What's the one thing you can do that if you did it today, it would move your life and or business from a sales operations perspective? Make a decision you're going to do it today. Make a decision you're going to do it today. Make a decision you're going to do it today. My message is do it today. You know, I was talking to my mentor, and he loves to always ask the question, Shay, when is the best time to plant a tree? And the obvious answer is the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. He says, well, when's the next best time to plant a tree? Now. And so right now, there's some things that you directly control. You control your attitude and you control your actions. And those are 2 things you control with 100% certainty. So I'm going to encourage you to control your actions as it relates to sales operations and things you know you can do today. You directly control, get it done. Do what? Get it done. Do what? Get it done. You do that. And my promise is you will be very successful. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the CEO Sales Huddle. You're incredible. You're amazing. If no one's told you already, you're a go-getter. All right. You showed up not because it's me, but because as a CEO, you recognize that selling is serious business. And that if you can't focus on sales, you can't be in business. So I appreciate your time. Continue to make a difference in the world. And I'll see you at the next CEO Sales Huddle. My name still has remained, hasn't changed. Jay Brown. Make it a great day, everyone, and we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. God bless, and keep doing God's work. Peace.